All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's your boy Rome. So if you guys missed the live earlier today, I feel sorry for the people who actually watched it. Yeah, my audio went out, but it's okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back through a lot of the things that I talked about in the live, and let me make sure that my microphone is not clipping. Sounds like everything looks good there. Okay, so let's get to it. On today's live, what I wanted to do, or what I did, was to spotlight a young photographer, retoucher that I have been following and watching on Instagram and YouTube for quite some time now. And two reasons I wanted to bring this person to your attention. One is that he is a unique and very qualified retoucher, and two, there's a number of amazing actions that he provides almost on a weekly, monthly basis for you guys to download and use in your workflow. So who am I talking about? All right, let's jump over here to my browser. And this is our guy, Ronnix Photography. You can find him on YouTube. There will be a link below where you can find his YouTube channel. And there's a specific video that I want you guys to take a look at in the beginning. And that video is this one here, which will also be linked in the description. But what he's providing you with here is a number of actions as well as some LUTs that you can download. This is a Dropbox file folder. You can just click on it and go over, and I'll just show you here. And you don't even have to sign in. You just click on download, and it should automatically start downloading as you see it did there. Then that will go over to your download folder on a Mac or PC. And then in that folder, you'll find, let's get the folder up here. Go over to my downloads, and here's the action. Just double click on it, and there's your action right there. So we're just gonna leave that here for now, and I'm gonna show you guys very simply how to install these actions and a quick way to utilize them. But I definitely want you to take a look at his video and follow him on Instagram to see some of his work. But let's go over to Photoshop really quick here. So if we're in Photoshop, I've already loaded these actions in just so I could show you guys exactly how they work, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna delete them. So I'm gonna switch off of button mode, which I'm normally in, and most of the times that you see me using actions. And he has two actions that you can download. One is his Essentials pack, and the other one is this frequency separation. So I'm going to choose both of these, and I'm going to hit delete. And yes. So those should be deleted. So now I'm going to go here to the little pop-out menu. I'm going to scroll down to load actions. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to install the frequency separation action first. And as you see, it loaded down here at the bottom. And I'm going to move that all the way to the top, to the very top of the stack. And you want to be very careful when you're doing this, if you have other actions, to make sure you don't wind up dropping a folder inside of another folder. And then we're going to go back, and we're going to load the other action, which is this one. And now there it is down here. So we're going to move that all the way up to the top as well. I'm going to put it right under frequency separation. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to button mode, and that'll put the frequency separation, dodge and burn, lip enhancement, eye shade enhancement, eyebrow enhancement, lashes for darkening lashes, and eye and teeth whitening. So let me just open an image here real quick. And let's go ahead and crop this. And let's adjust our white balance. Raise our exposure up a little bit. Adjust the contrast. Zoom in here and see what we're getting. She wasn't wearing a lot of makeup, but you guys can get the idea here real quick. So I go down to details, looks good. Optics, enable camera profile, and then we're going to open this file. Okay. So let's just zoom in here and take a look at her face, because that's where we're going to be working for the most part. I'm not going to focus that much on the rest of the body using these actions that he's provided for us, right? So normally what we would do is, Command J, we're going to duplicate that layer. We're going to go in and we're going to do all of our little minor touch-ups. So we go in with our, it depends on which brush you want to use, okay? So you have a number of different brushes, but usually I use the same one every time. You guys have seen many of these videos, so we're gonna do the same thing real quick here. So I'm not gonna talk a lot here in this aspect of it. I may keep talking, but I'm just gonna go in here real quick and take out all the things that I see. This is just gonna be down and dirty. I just want you to see these actions in action. Actions in actions, that's funny. I crack myself up. So go in, clean up, all the little areas that you want to adjust, remove all of the imperfections that you can find. You don't have to go crazy with it, but anything that needs to be removed, we're just going to assume we got most of it. And there's a few other little things, but I'm not going to focus that much on those. We're just going to get this done real quick. Okay, so here we go. So let's say we're happy with our little touch up. We've gone in and removed all of the imperfections, the pimples or something like that. Of course, I see something else. So let me grab that. Okay, boom, we're good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to hit our frequency separation, and it's going to open the Gaussian blur, and then you're going to determine what your radius is going to be based on your image. This is an 8-bit image. No, I'm sorry, this is a 16-bit image. So I'm just going to adjust this just until I can't see any more of the features. And I'm just going to roll with that. Okay. So just like before, you have a high layer and a low layer. So your low frequency and your high frequency. So it's no different than any of the other frequency separation actions you guys have seen me run in the past. So you already know what we do here, right? So we're going to turn off our high frequency, but yet we're still going to create a black and white layer. And we're going to crush those reds. And we're going to go down to our low frequency layer, go over to our brush. We're going to choose our mixer brush. We're going to come up here and look at what our settings are. Right now, my wet is at 10 because I'm usually using my iPad and my Apple Pencil, but that's maybe a little high for some. But let's just bring that down to maybe 5. Okay, so my load is at 75, my mix is 90, and my flow is at 96. So I'm going to increase the size of the brush just so I can rush through this. And I'm just going to mix these colors. And you'll see this is no different than anything you've seen me do in the past, because Photoshop is Photoshop, so regardless of who may have created the actions, if they're done properly, they're going to work basically the same way. So here's an advantage for you guys. If you want to download these actions, you're getting them for free. You can also subscribe to his channel and start watching some of his tutorials. I watch him, I've been watching him for months now. All through 2020, I watched him quite a bit. So I'm just going through this really quick. Let's knock this out. Now, of course, if you're doing this for a client or your projects or your portfolio, obviously you're going to take far more, time and care in doing something like this. I just want you to see. So I'm going to turn texture layer back on, and I'm going to go in here and do a few more little mix just a little bit more. And you could see she wasn't wearing any makeup. So, I mean, there's other things that we could do as well, you know, to enhance our skin. But the frequency separation is going to give us the basic things that we're looking for from this aspect of it. So I'm going to turn off the black and white layer. And then we're going to go all the way down to the touch-up layer. I'm going to hold Option, click on that little eye, and you can see the before and after. You know, it doesn't look like I did a lot, but you can see where the skin colors are blended together, and it would work just the same. You know, you just take a little bit more time and you're going to get the same effect or better. Okay, so we're good with that. So let's say we're happy with everything that we've done here. We don't need this black and white layer anymore, so we're going to go ahead and delete that. Get that out of here. And we're going to go on to the next thing. So dodging and burning would be the next thing. And he's already provided you with a helper layer, which you can still go in here. And if you're not happy with the amount of black and white, you can still come in and crush this a little bit more, just so you can see the difference between the highlights and the shadows. But you're still going to be working on these two black layers, layer masks down here. So you got your dodge and you have your burn. So dodging is lightening and burning is darkening. So if we're going to go here, we want to make sure that our brush is set to white, and we're using a traditional brush, not our mixer brush. And we're just going to go in and just hit some of the things that we can obviously see that are highlighted, lighted areas, just so we can just touch them up just a little bit, just to add just a little bit of depth. And I'm going way overboard with this, but I just want you guys to be able to see it on the video. Now, usually what I do, instead of lowering the opacity, I come in and adjust the feather, and then I can kind of get it to pop just about where I want it. Just when I start to see, you know, the light coming forward. And it's the same with the dodge. You can go in with your dodge, smaller brush. You know, if you see areas that you want to dodge, there's not a lot of them on her face, but we'll just use this as an example of the nose shadow here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go in and adjust the feather. Now, the way he does it is that he adjusts it from the opacity of the layer itself. I just like doing this the way I do it because it seems to have more of a, as if you're adjusting the fill versus the opacity, because fill is going to give you a little bit more flexibility. So we turn off this layer, and then we could turn off the group, and you see just a little subtle pop in her face, you know, of a little bit of light. That's what you're looking for, subtlety. So let's say we're happy with that. Shift, Option, Command, E. Now we have a new stamp layer. So we can go in and do other things. We can do lip enhancements. So what this one is designed to do is to paint over the lips, you know, and that's assuming that someone would have makeup on. And I don't know how well this is going to work on her lips because it's just natural skin, but you want to select the black layer mask, make sure it's white, normal brush. You're going to bring your opacity up to 100 and your brush size to match the area that you're painting. And then you're just going to paint over the lips. You're just adding a little bit of color and life back into the lips. You know, especially if you're working with someone who doesn't wear makeup and you still want to give them that natural pop. I think this is really good here. And if you want to see what the mask looks like, hold down your Option and click on the mask, and you can see exactly where you painted. So then that way, if you feel like you're missing a spot, then you can just fill in right here, just in case you missed something. Then Option click, and you're back to there, okay? So we're gonna assume we're happy with that. Again, Shift, Option, Command, E, and we're gonna go on to the next thing. So the next thing would be eyeshadow, which, you know, of course she has none, but we're gonna just roll with it. So if this was eyeshadow, it would be basically the same thing. We're just gonna go in here, and we're just gonna go over the eyes, just darken those down just a little bit. You know, she has a little bit of makeup on, so, you know, we can make that pop. Yeah, I'm not seeing much. So on this one, I'm definitely going to raise the opacity a little bit. Move this out of the way. So let's bring that opacity up to 100 so we can actually see. Yeah. It's subtle, but it's there. And if she was wearing more makeup, and then obviously you can go over this a couple of times if you're not getting the effect the first swipe over to get exactly what you're looking for, okay? So the next thing is for darkening eyelashes. So you're gonna zoom in. And you would basically do the same thing. You would take your brush, and you can't really see her, you know, eyelashes or anything here in this photo, but just make a small brush, and you would just go over that area and just to darken it in.